Hey there guys, Brian the Shaving Geek here with another episode of my shave of the day, and I'm going to do another on-camera shave today since it is Saturday. I have a little bit of time to be able to do this. Also very excited because my brother-in-law is on his way up here. He loaded a bunch of shaving stuff into his car. He's bringing it with him, and so either today or tomorrow we'll see when we can pull it off. But I am going to be doing an interview with none other than the proprietor of Creek Road Pottery. And so excited about that. Let's see here. Where do we start? Today, I want to talk to you just a little bit about disappointments in wet shaving. And what do I mean by this? This by no means, I don't want anybody to take this as me casting stones at any artisan or any particular company. But there are times in the wet shaving community, and I found this out the hard way, and I'm going to show you the soap that I'm referring to in a minute. I found this out the hard way shortly after I got involved in this hobby. People have a tendency to get caught up in what everybody else is doing and what everybody else likes. And they lose sight of, or maybe if they're new to the hobby as I was at the time, that not every product is for everybody. Not every soap or every scent is for everybody. And it doesn't make you, any more macho because, for example, let me put it this way. There's kind of this machismo that some guys, have, this bravado. I shave with a straight razor. Well, what would you freaking do? If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, so what? We're all just shaving. You're not any more macho because you shave with a straight, or any less macho because you don't. And so people get caught up in this, well, I need to be like this certain person, I need to be like that certain person, this scent is coming out, I have to have it, everybody says this is great, everybody has said that is great, and they get caught up in all that stuff. And they lose sight of doing what works for them. And that's to me, that's the number one rule of wet shaving, is use what you love what you use. And that's pretty much it. This is your mileage may vary hobby. And I can give you tips and I can give you tricks, things that I've learned. But at the end of the day, you need to do what your face is telling you to do. And if that means that you need to shave up instead of down because that's how your beard grows and that's really a with the grain pass, then that's what you need to do. If you want to shave with a straight razor because that works for you, great. And if you want to shave with a DE, great. And if you like single edges, great. Use what you love what you use. And so I come back to when I first got into this hobby, there was a soap release that was getting ready to happen. And everybody had talked the soap up about how great it was, how awesome it was. Several guys had put out their, top 10 lists, and this soap was at the top of the list. And everybody just raved about the performance on it is awesome. The scent on it is just unbelievable. And so it had been out of stock for a while, and then people, there was this countdown. They're gonna release it. And so I got caught up in that. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for them to release the soap. And then I ordered the soap, and I was so excited for it to arrive. And when it arrived, I gotta say, I was underwhelmed, both by the scent and, quite frankly, by the performance. That's not to say that it's a bad soap, and that's not to say that I think that the other people who love it and it's in their top 5 that they were wrong. No. It's just it's in the top 5 for them. It works great for them. And unfortunately, I got caught up in that. And so I really don't care for the soap too much. But I keep it around in my den, and I pull it out every once in a while just to remind myself of that fact. Just because everybody else likes it doesn't mean you have to. Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean you have to. So what soap is that? Well, it's none other than XXX by Razor Rock. Already I can hear the boos and the hisses. But this soap just absolutely underwhelmed me. Now, it's not to say that it's a bad soap. And the price point on this is great. A very cheap soap. But when I smelled the soap, it just smells like a motel bath bar to me. That's all it smells like. Now, I was lucky enough to be able to get some cologne, or not cologne, aftershave from Razor Rock. That's the Triple X. Whew, I like that. That speaks to me. But the scent on this versus the scent on this, to me, I would almost say it's two totally different things. So, that is my kind of introduction to my shave. I'm 5 minutes in and all I've done is rant. But no, I'm very serious about that. And why do I bring that up? Because the other day somebody posted in one of the groups about how they had discovered Big Ben blades. And they were talking about how they love them and it was coming to their number one. And what did other people think about it? And then you had people, of course, jumping in. They suck. They're horrible. They're bad. And I just responded, if they're good for you, if they work good for you, if they feel good on your face, who cares how they work for other people? And in fact, the blade I'm going to be using today is a one of those blades that, again, gets hyped up and people think is so awesome. And for me, it just isn't that great of a blade. And so, I've got my brush loaded up here. Now, again, I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm just saying use what you love and love what you use. So, what is the blade I'm talking about? Well, today I am going to be using a feather blade, and let me see if I can find the box. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Because I am using... So what I do is I actually keep all of my blades in this little jar here. And you can see the feather right here. So here is the feather blades that everybody raves about. And I remember, again, when I first got into this hobby, everybody was, it was kind of like, the feather blade was the epitome of blades. And if you weren't shaving with a feather blade, it was kind of like, again, this machismo in the DE space. That if you weren't shaving with with a feather blade, that you were somehow doing it wrong. You weren't man enough or whatever. And what did I find with feather blades? I found that they were just an blade for me today. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I am going to actually be loading a feather blade into another razor that is just an razor for me, which I've talked about before, my Black Beauty here. Now, one of the things that I believe it was Douglas Smythe talked about when I first got into this, I think he did a video on it, was about stropping your feather blades on some jeans. So I've done that before, and quite honestly, I didn't really notice a difference. I did it, and it really just, again, your mileage may vary. So I just did a couple strops there to show it to you, but that's as far as I'm going. I'm just going to shave with this blade today. So about the only thing that I'm loving today in my shave is this brush, because I really don't have any brushes, honestly, that suck. All of my brushes that I have, I really enjoy. Now I use, well, except for, I should take that back. I have that Elite Razor brush that isn't all that great, but that just has to do with how the knot is set. So you take that out of consideration. But all this other stuff is stuff that people just rave about, and maybe not so much the Black Beauty, but they're good reminders to me that this is just a your mileage may vary hobby. And if you love Triple X, I am not trying to talk you into or out of your opinion and into agreeing with me. I'm just saying that for me, it's not that great. And that's okay. I got a whole bunch of other stuff that I love. Now, the performance of Triple X, as you can see, is excellent. I mean, it lathers so easy. And the price point on this stuff, like I said, is really great. It's just, but it's not, is the performance on it the best? Do I get the most slickness? No, it's not. I mean, even the performance-wise, I wouldn't put this in my top 10. Now, my top 5, my top 10, I wouldn't even. And that's okay. It's just, again, and not so much that Triple X gets as much love now as it did back in the day, but I see this with other soaps, whether it's artisans in their particular lineup, or scents, limited editions, guys that get all bent out of shape because they don't get a limited edition, and they think that just because everybody else has it or everybody else enjoys it, that they have to have it, they're going to enjoy it. It doesn't always work that way. And if you hear anything in the background, my in-laws are here visiting, so it may get a little crazy. Well, as you can see, I mean, this performance is really good. And this feather blade, I mean, it's doing its job, but it's definitely not my favorite type of blade. Again, it's okay. This is just a reminder. And I'll say it one more time, and hopefully I won't say it again. Use what you love what you use, and that's that. Try stuff out, especially if you're new to the hobby. Try stuff out. Variety is the spice of life, and so you may find stuff that you really enjoy that I don't like, and I may like stuff that you don't like, and it's all good. That's the reason why you got the buy-sell trade groups, because we can take that stuff that isn't getting much love and pass it on to somebody else who might appreciate it more than we do. So if you haven't gotten into buy-sell trade groups, check them out. It's a great way to explore new soaps and new scents, new products, and not go out and just buy stuff like I did. Not that it cost me a whole lot of money, because it didn't, again. But, get caught up in, I got to have this because it's, hard to get, or it's a limited edition or whatever, and then be disappointed like I was. And I'm just glad that, it was whatever it is, a $6 tub or $7 tub of Triple X that taught me this lesson, and not a $70 jar of Martin de Condre or whatever else, people are losing their minds over nowadays. Just because it costs more doesn't mean that it's better either. But I don't know, I'm kind of channeling my inner Tom Brim today, like the curmudgeon, like I'm in a bad mood, and I'm not. Hopefully, it's not coming across that way, but it kind of sound like being Mr. Negative. I'm not. I'm trying to be Mr. Positive and tell you, don't worry about what other people think. Just do what you do, love what you do, and the rest of it take with a grain of salt. I get this big old schnoz here, and I have a hard time getting right up underneath here. And especially, I used the Crown King Shavette yesterday, and I didn't do a video yesterday, obviously, and I'm sure you're all disappointed by that. But even with a DE, I have a hard time getting right underneath my nose there. So getting there with a shavette is nigh to impossible with my current skill level. I'm sure I'll get there, but so there we go. 2 passes. DFS, definitely not BBS shape by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not gonna buff it. I'm not gonna do any top drops because I don't care. It's good enough for a Saturday. Today actually also happens to be, this is my coaching shirt, my last day of coaching youth soccer. Next year my son moves up to the modified program, and so I will be, this is his last game of youth soccer and my last opportunity to coach youth soccer, and then I'm retiring from youth coaching. I really like I like the scent of this fine triple X, and it's hard to get in. I mean, well, they don't make it anymore, so it's very difficult to get. So I use it very sparingly, but I really, really like it. I love, and that's what's very disappointing to me, is that I love the scent of the aftershave, but I just don't get that same scent from the soap. The soap to me, again, and man, I'm not trying to be, you know, if you like a nice smelling motel bath soap, then by all means buy some triple X. But just personally, it doesn't do much for me, and I just don't. I don't understand why people raved as much about it as what they did. But it's all good. It taught me a valuable lesson for a cheap price, and you know, now, having said all of that, do I hate the scent of this? No, I don't. It's an okay scent. And the performance on this, I would much rather shave with this than I would any crap in a can. But I just have, out of all this other stuff that I have, I mean, this doesn't even break the top 20. Probably not even the top 30. For me. Same way when it comes to the feather blades. You know, it's a blade. It does its job. Is it as awesome as everybody thinks it is? In my opinion, no. Is it as sharp as everybody says it is? In my opinion, again, no. It's an okay blade. I sometimes get quite a bit of irritation depending on the razor that I put it through. You know, I find that certain blades work differently in different razors, that's for sure. And this, you know, this razor for me, again, it's kind of funny. It's an adjustable razor from Gillette, and it doesn't get anywhere near the hype or love that a Fat Boy or a Toggle does. Don't get me wrong, but it's just funny. For me, it's just an razor. So, you know, if you love them, hey, great on you. Again, the point being, I'll say it one more time: love what you use what you love. And until next time, Brian the Shaving Geek reporting live from my shave den, wishing you a lifetime of happy shaves. Have a great day, everybody.